Hello everyone, welcome to Arka Astro Science. So finally, Karma Faldata Sani and Karma Karak Sani is finally coming out of its Mula Trikona sign Aquarius and going to enter the Meena Rasi. On 29th of March 2025, Saturn is coming out of Aquarius and going to enter the zodiac sign of Pisces. That is the last sign of the natural zodiac, the Kala Purusa Kundali. That means a planet has to transit whole of the zodiac. I'm talking about the natural zodiac over here. Whole of the zodiac, and then the planet actually finds its destination, its resting place in the sign of Pisces. In this journey, the planet acquires a lot of wisdom, lot of maturity, practicality with respect to the essence and the significance of the planet. And that also gives us the information that why we say that when we talk about wisdom, when we talk about maturity, when we talk about the foundation, base, essence of any zodiac sign is Pisces. The knowledge, the wisdom which Pisces can bestow, no other zodiac sign can bestow. That is the power of Pisces. And when you talk about Saturn, the wise, matured, practical Graha, the practicality and maturity which Saturn can bestow us, no other planet can bestow. And the most important part here is that it becomes a part of us, it becomes a strength of us. And it goes for eternity. The teachings, the learnings which Saturn shows us, it is not like a normal thing in our life. It is like, it is just like a revelation. And that two energies are now going to merge on 29th of March 2025. So it is a very important, significant, and very powerful astrological phenomenon which is going to happen. Wheresoever the sign Pisces lies in your horoscope, you will see that that kind of wisdom, that kind of essence will come out, and it will become a part of us, a strength within us. Now, wheresoever Pisces lies in your horoscope, you already have that wisdom, you already have that maturity, because that is the reason why you have got Pisces in that house, in your birth horoscope. Now, when Saturn enters it, that zodiac sign, it is just like activation of that house. So, it's a very powerful transit, it's a very powerful energy confluence. Now, I'm not talking about that six planet conjunction over here, I'm talking particularly the sign of Pisces and Saturn. It will be like a time when you understand the power of isolation, the power of solitude. Because when you travel and you gain knowledge, experience, matured, you be more practical, more realistic about the events all over the world in your life. And a time comes when you need that rest, you need that time for your own self. That will be the moment when Saturn enters the sign of Pisces. This is the actual essence. Now, on the other hand, Pisces is the sign which has nothing to do with practicality. That is also correct. Why? Because Pisces is the sign where Mercury gets debilitated. That means this will be a time when there can be at the mental level some dilemma can work. Because Saturn is someone which will not allow you to dream in that imaginative state of mind. Even if Saturn is resting, because Pisces is the sign of rest, Even if Saturn is resting, at the subconscious level there will be too much work going on. Why subconscious level? Because Pisces is the 12th house of the natural zodiac. So this can also lead to restlessness. In the positive side, this will give you a breakthrough to work in your future. That even if you're resting, what next? But the other way around is, this can be also the reason of anxiety if not channelized properly. So one of the best way to tackle this kind of energies, because I am not only pointing out on this transit, I am also pointing out for any kind of native who has one or multiple planets sorry, in the sign of Pisces. Because since Pisces is the last sign of the natural zodiac, so where all the planet, whenever that planet enters or sits in that sign Pisces, it rests. Now it is like a time when the planet feels that I don't want to work more. It's a time that okay, I give up. It's okay, I'm happy with what I'm getting. So here Saturn will say no. Maybe this is the time for restarting something. Since Pisces is also the sign of creativity, beauty, it is a watery sign, that deep waters. So you can explore and you can get many precious things. So you can channelize your energy in that way. You can take up any hobby, you can take up any new kind of work, anything which interests you, anything which benefits you for the long term to come. Since Saturn is the planet of order, regularity, practical thinking, something which we do in regular manner, in day to day schedule, day and night, discipline, punctuality, that is not Pisces, that is actually Saturn. So when Saturn enters the sign of Pisces, there is a dilemma, that what about the practical thinking, what about the regularity, what about that day and night proper working, that working procedure, what to do it about it? Will it get stopped? Will my work be disturbed? Now someone will say that Saturn is the planet and it significates the 10th house of the natural zodiac, so it is the karma karak. So will it impact my career? Will it impact my job and profession, my business, my fame, my status, my reputation? Now, is it applicable for every one of us, the same rule? Now, how it applies to you or me or anyone else? Check where Saturn enters in your horoscope, in which house it enters. Significance related to that house and the significance related to the houses ruled by Saturn in your horoscope. Like suppose, for example, Saturn enters the sign of Pisces in your third house. That means you are Capricorn ascendant. So Saturn rules your first house and second house, and Saturn enters your third house. So 1, 2, 3, first house, second house, third house. These three houses will be primarily impacted. Impacted means it can be positively also. Depending upon the promises of the horoscope, depending upon the dasa you are running through, it can be positive also, it can be negative also, it can be very good also. Okay, so here the word impact does not means always negative, it can be very good also. Okay, so if I always say that okay, this is the resting time, that does not means it is a resting time, it can also be a start of something new. But one thing is for sure, there will be a break of pattern, a pattern which was going on all through this. There's last particularly 5 years, no, 7.5 years, not 5 years, 7.5 years. Why 7.5 years? Because when Saturn entered the sign of Sagittarius back in 2017, whenever Saturn enters the sign of Sagittarius, then it enters Capricorn, then Aquarius. That 7.5 years, it is a time of start of new pattern. new work pattern. It makes a person very hardworking, very practical, honest, loyal. Now that pattern, all of a sudden you will see that whatever work you are doing, you will feel that, oh, I don't feel good about it. Let me rethink about the working methodology. That is the thing which will come in your mind. I am not saying that all of a sudden you will go and you will say to your boss, oh, from tomorrow I'm not coming. Why? Because Saturn has entered the sign of Pisces, so I'm not coming from tomorrow. Because Pisces is the sign of where I need to rest. It is a sign of solitude. And come on, you don't say that. We have our responsibilities, we have our duties, day to day responsibilities. We have to find our source of livelihood. We have to perform certain things in our day to day life, for us, for our family, for our near and dear ones. Come on. That means the life is not stopping. The life, in fact, this transit means that something is there which you need to focus apart from the regular things which are going on. No, it may come in your mind that, okay, let me just think otherwise. I don't like my job, or I don't like that person in my job. I don't like my boss, so let me change my job, or let me just leave the company or leave the team. These kind of thoughts may come, but what if everyone is thinking the same? Then how the things will go on? How the life will go on? It means that here comes the dilemma. Here comes the dilemma, because Saturn, whenever it enters the sign of Pisces, or whenever you have Saturn in your sign, in your horoscope, in the sign of Pisces, this kind of dilemma will be there. Because this kind of people, although they can have that imaginative sense, but Saturn will say, no, you don't live your life only out of imagination. Only out of illusion you do not stay. You need to face the life. So that means, irrespective of whatever work you are doing in your day to day life, you have to find something else. Here, particularly, I'm talking about sources of livelihood, other source of income. It can be related to anything, your creative talent, your hobbies, anything which you are good at, anything which fascinates you, something which you are very interested about, but you didn't get time or any kind of resource to work on it. Because Pisces is a sign of also resources, don't forget that. And Saturn is Karma Karak. So maybe this can be a groundbreaking like results for you. I don't know what other people are thinking about it, but the people who has either multiple planets in the sign of Pisces, particularly Saturn, particularly 10th lord, they can understand my words. That apart from the regular working, they will always try to find out some creative way to work. They are the people who will be like, please don't push me, give me some time, I will make the best for you. Because Pisces is so creative, they're like that, I know this work better than anyone else, give me some time and I will give you the best result. So this is a time for being taking the charge on your own. So if you are self-employed, if you are an entrepreneur, or if you are thinking to start anything of your own, this is a very good time. So in that regards, this transit of Saturn into the sign of Pisces, wheresoever the sign Pisces lies in your horoscope, in that regards, in that house, significance of that house will be really be impacted in a positive way. Apart from the sources of livelihood, apart from career, job and business, whatever work you're doing, apart from that. Now, there is another rule that whenever Saturn enters the sign, zodiac sign ruled by Jupiter, that means either it is Sagittarius, either it is Pisces. Whenever Saturn will enter the sign of Sagittarius or Pisces, normally Saturn feels more happy, Saturn is more happy in that placement, in that houses, that sign, Pisces and Sagittarius, because it is ruled by Jupiter. It normally gives good results. Now, it will depend upon whichever house it is there, but normally, in sense, I'm talking about the significance held by Pisces and Sagittarius are as such, it is normally favored by Saturn. This will also give you a very proper way of engaging into spiritual works of life. Now, that can be meditation, that can be sadhana, that can be spiritual education. Be more disciplined towards spiritual growth. Now, it can be related to yoga, it can be related to meditation or performing exercises or yogic practices. In that regards, also, this Saturn is going to give you very good results. Particularly, any kind of profession or any kind of work which relates to import and export of goods, or suppose you are working with someone who is based in some faraway lands and that person is your client, or you are trying to collaborate with that kind of person. In that regards also, this placement of Saturn in this transit through the sign of Pisces is going to give you very good results. Particularly, suppose it is, if it is related to multinational company, or it may happen you may get associated with foreigners with respect to your work. Now, here not particularly foreigners, it can be any person in faraway lands, or any kinds of goods which are related to water, liquids, fisheries, fishing department, foreign trade, or even knowing the foreign culture. In that regards, this Saturn is going to give you very good results. Now, since Pisces is the 12th house of the natural zodiac and Saturn is coming over there, so there are some practical consequences also. Now, first thing which I will say is that we need to be more careful regarding the activities which are related to ethics, law, truth, righteousness, honesty, because you will see all of a sudden, and you will see that all of a sudden, that is fines, penalties, impediments are increasing day by day, particularly related to something, any kind of activities where the government is imposing fines, penalties. So we need to be very careful regarding any kind of activities where we might get into any kind of fine. Number one. Number two, Saturn, since is the karaka of delay, or Saturn is something which, like, it will obstruct the things, certain things. So you might get anxious in terms of expenditures, in terms of spendings. So at times this can trigger your insecurity regarding your budget management, regarding your money related decisions, spendings, and it can also make you anxious at the same time. So budget, money, finances has to be taken care of very properly during this particular transit of Saturn, and it is, since Saturn stays in a sign for 2.5 years, so this thing will be very important. Next thing is that since Saturn will enter the sign of Pisces by crossing Aquarius. Now, what is Aquarius? It is the 11th house of the natural zodiac, Aquarius, which also means that fulfillment of desires, gains, but also doing for the people, for the society. That means it is a mutual growth of people, me and others both. It is not only the growth of like the single individual. It is like here Aquarius, what happens, what Saturn says, that you are achieving something, do it for yourself also, do it for others also. That social nature of Saturn, in a more like humanitarian nature, you can say, or kind nature, growth, new development, new knowledge, scientific research. And this, after this nature, what happens? A time comes when you will be feeling that okay, I have got everything in my life. I need some rest. Okay, what I will do with all these things? Let me just give it away. So when Saturn goes into the sign of Pisces, this is also a time when you will see that you will be able to focus more on charities. In fact, this will be a very good remedy also to help the peoples, particularly the people who are underprivileged, who are deprived, the old people, the people who are not capable of helping themselves also and others also. So you can help those people. It can be through money, it can be through by any other kind of help also, particularly helping and donating towards hospitals, nursing homes, asylums, or the old people in particular. Like suppose you have your driver, your servants at your home, or anyone working under you, and if you feel that this person is old and this person is really that not that much privileged in their life, help them. This will be a very good remedy for this transit of Saturn, and Saturn will really like it. Okay. Some more things I will say that during this particular time, some travels to some far away places with regards to your work can also be possible, but that will be also dependent upon your own creative thoughts. There can be change of place, there can be change of position during this particular transit of Saturn. And at the beginning of the video, when I was talking about restlessness at the mental level, because at the subconscious level, so this can also lead to the fact that since at the subconscious level many things are going on because of the impact of Saturn, because Saturn is the karma karak, it is working, and 12th house Pisces of the natural zodiac is the subconscious mind. That means this can give restlessness even when you are not doing anything, even when you are resting. So suppose when you are just preparing for your rest and you are something or the other coming in your mind. So this may also disturb our sleep. Now, here one thing more I will add is that this can also impact the mutual bonding and the mutual relationship between the couples, particularly between you and your partner. Not necessarily husband and wife, but it can be any two person who are partner. That can be at the personal level, at the professional level also. But if you are married, then particularly for the married couples. One more thing is that since Saturn is also karma faldata and it is also Dandanayak Sani. Sun is also called Dandanayak. So, and Pisces is the 12th house. So, anything which is not righteous, anything which is unethical, unlawful, or anything which is wrong, which is not correct by its essence, might get punished, can get into any kind of legal proceedings. So you will see not only fines and penalties, but also you will see many legal proceedings, criminal proceedings are getting the limelight. And not only now, but through this whole of this transit of Saturn. So these are some highlights of this transit of Saturn. Now something is related to the Sade also, because Sade of the Aries moon sign is starting, and for the Aquarius ascendant, for the Aquarius moon sign people, this will be the last phase of their Sarasati. For the Pisces moon sign, this will be the second phase. Now, for the Capricorn people, their Sarasati is ending. Theoretically, it is ending. Now, let me add something. Now, almost 3.5 months from now, Saturn will turn retrograde. And when it turns retrograde, it will give its result from its previous sign. That means when Saturn turns retrograde, it is transiting in Pisces, retrograde in Pisces, 3.5 months from now. But by the virtue of its retrogression, it will give its result from its previous sign, that is Aquarius, as if it is posited in Aquarius. That is how retrograde planet works. Any retrograde planet. Okay. Now, since it is giving its result from Aquarius also, as if it is posited in Aquarius. Now, what is Aquarius? Second house from Capricorn. Now, theoretically, the Sarasati for the Capricorn people has ended or ending. This 29th of March 2025. But by the virtue of retrogression, when Saturn will be retrograde and it will start giving its result again for the zodiac sign of Aquarius, as if it is posited in Aquarius, you will see certain reoccurrence of events. Certain things gets triggered, or the Capricorn people may feel that Sarasati started, and you see still now the same things are going on. And I have heard this kind of language from many people over the years. Irrespective of the transit, I have not seen the ephemeris that where Saturn is, but I have seen this kind of statements from people. And you might also have either some time in your life you have said or you have heard about this kind of statement that once my Sarasati started, similar kind of events are going on. Why don't you check the position of Saturn? Maybe Saturn is retrograde and it is impacting one of the houses by its retrograde motion. So for that particular few months when Saturn will be retrograde, it will impact the sign of Aquarius, and somehow some events, reoccurrence of certain events may take place related to the anything which was occurred during the Sarasati or similar like that. Theoretically, it is ended. So why I'm talking about all these things? Because normally when we say that Saturn is transiting for 2.5 years for a particular sign, if you check the ephemeris, you will be really amazed that it is not always like that. Not in a direct motion, because any planet will move forward, it will also turn retrograde, again it will move forward. Sometimes during the retrogression it can also change the sign. Okay, so there are more complexities to it. Particularly the people who are very much fascinated with Panchang or ephemeris, they will know it, because they will be the people who will be looking into the longitude of the planetary positions. Okay, now very soon I will make one particular content on this Sarasati only, because what I told about now regarding the retrograde motion for the Capricorn people, there are other things also I will add to it. I will not add here because it will make the video more lengthy. I will add certain things which are normally not said, because what happens, someone will say, oh, your Sarasati is ended, so why are you worrying? Everything is okay. Why don't you chill? Why are you so much overthinking and all? But in essence, in truth, what happens? The person is going through something, but the person is not actually understanding the reason behind it. Maybe something is triggering something, some events, or maybe some past events is getting triggered. I will talk about all those in my next one of my videos. I will talk about it, because for the transit of Saturn into the sign of Pisces, I will make the 12 ascendant content also. I have to make that content. So 2 more contents I will make, and I will talk about in a very detailed manner. So I hope that you like this video, and if you are new to this channel, tap onto the subscribe button, click onto the notification bell icon, so that every time I make a new content you get notified instantly. And if you want a consultation from me, check the links down in the description section. You can mail me through my email ID or get connected with me through my Facebook or Instagram accounts. And your comments are always welcome to me. So that's it from my side. And yes, share it to your near and dear ones who needs to understand how the transit of Saturn is going to impact every one of us. Because this is a very important, significant astrological phenomenon. So that's it from my side. Thanking you. Bye bye.